And most important of all, you can learn what to do with some of the feelings you have inside, especially those angry feelings you sometimes get.
Ever since grade 7, I always wanted to go to Egypt and see the pyramids or the Sphinx. And then when I got here, all that stuff's great, but it's with the people that aren't making the experience grand at all.
Where to start on Egypt? I've been traveling for years. I've talked to probably thousands of different backpackers everywhere. And there is one general consensus about Egypt amongst the hardcore backpacker community, and that is nightmare.
First thing I think of is the taxi cabs and the drivers. We were up visiting the Citadel, and so we wanted to go to a place in Old Cairo to show Clayton around, and we knew it would be about 5 pounds. So when I went up to the taxi cab driver, he said, "Oh, I can take you there for 30 pounds. And so I turned my back on him and walked down the road with the group. So I just told the group, look, let's just all climb in a taxi and let's just pay the guy when we get there because we know it's going to be about 5 pounds. And they said, well, okay, Brandon, you're going to hand him the 5 pounds.
The worst part about it is they don't just rip you off, they do it so blatantly. Grady had a haircut down the street for 10 pounds. Then we went back down there later and we want another haircut and they said 15. And I said, no, it's 10. They kicked me out of the shop and shut the door in my face. And Grady had to hold me back because I was going to go down there and rip his eyes out. Because how? They'd rather have no business than just give us a fair price.
I can't understand the shopkeeper's mentality. You've got 7 or 8 people in our little group and we go walking up to the store. We've been out all day. We're very thirsty. We run out of water. Oh, thirsty. Okay. How much is the water? And they'll double the price. But then we walk off. They're so stupid. They could sell probably 14 bottles of water and instead they sell nothing.
You'll get 2 or 3 random Egyptians walking down the street that all of a sudden want to come in and interfere with the transaction. They'll start listing their own prices. It's like, well, they're not even part of the shop, so why are they giving you prices that are even higher than the prices that the shop is quoting you, which are also wrong. In other countries where there's a lot of hassle, they're just like, yeah, you're a dumb tourist, I'm gonna rip you off. But here, you talk to them, and they're just like, I don't like you. And then you get a lot more of that sort of attitude here. It's not a comfortable feeling when you go into a shop and they'd rather throw you out of the shop than give you the honest price when you know what that price is. And not only that, they will swear at you, they will say, get out of my country, why are you here? And they've got this big thing where they're always saying, where's the respect? You're in my country, you should respect me. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm the guest. And I know that they should be treating me with respect too, but you don't hear them saying that.
Everywhere in Egypt this is the same. The trains, the pyramids, all of the everything. Money back. Only for 5 pounds, but it's the principle.
They set up this backsheesh culture where if they say the word backsheesh, they've trained all tourists to be thinking that's the magic word to give out a tip. And they'll do completely obnoxious things, which amount to the equivalent of someone walking in this room and I will say, there's the light switch. Okay, give me a tip.
It works. Miracle.
The best thing you can do is learn what the typical scams are, or these guys that want to point out the light switch. Well, if you just jump on them first and point out the light switch yourself and say, hey, look, there's a temple.
Yeah. Luck, good. Happy going. Good. Hey.
Another trick that they like to do is they'll set up a little barricade, completely fake. They'll take the garbage can, put it in front of the entryway to a corridor or a room, or they'll put a couple of of sticks in front, and then as soon as you go over there to say, I want to see what's inside, they'll tell you that it's locked or it's out of bounds, you're not allowed to go, and demand a tip to open it for you. Well, the place is open, you bought a ticket, why should I have to pay a tip for a guy to unlock a door that he's obviously bought a chain for so that he could lock, so that he could charge you to open it?
That's just pointless.
One of the most offensive things to me personally is when someone accuses me of disrespecting anything related to ancient Egypt. I have a huge amount of respect for ancient Egypt. I've been here for years, and for example, recently we all went down to the Temple of Seti I in Abydos, and the curator comes up, and we were filming, so one of the girls was running around, and tells us, this is a holy place, show some respect. A holy place? These people are peeing on the ground of the temple. They find a nice dark corner off somewhere, and go to the Sphinx, go to the pyramid, go to any of the sites, it's half buried and lit. And they're trying to tell me about respect. They don't even know their own history. They're not even taught ancient Egyptian history. And they're carping about respect? Holy place? These people who regard ancient Egyptians as pagans who are going to rot forever in hell? No. Don't talk to me about respect.
There's this other time that Grady and I were sitting on a Sphinx statue, and another backsheesh guy came up to us and told us it was forbidden, when clearly it wasn't forbidden. Then when we told him we weren't going to get off, some foreigner guy came up and started yelling at us, saying we were ruining ancient monuments. I mean, it's bad enough having locals yell at us, but when it's foreigners, that just tops it all.
Excuse me, guys. He just called the police. They will lock you up, so I will get down the conversation.
It's a classic example of yet another Egyptian with no position of authority trying to boss tourists around simply because that's what he thinks he can do. And there were half a dozen tourist police within view of where we were, and yet, you know, you have some foreigner who just believes whatever is said and told to him by an Egyptian and immediately comes to his defense without actually looking around to see that the police were doing nothing. They were watching and laughing. For some reason, tourists seem to think that every beggar is a legitimate beggar, or that everyone that asks for a tip must deserve a tip. I mean, honesty is something that's a foreign concept to a lot of these people, and for some reason we just give them the benefit of the doubt, and I guess that just shows human nature, to want to believe that everyone is honest, or that everybody is nice, but it just doesn't seem to be the case. So my advice to tourists, don't believe people here. It's not true.
I only get people who are working. Are you working?
No.
We were attacked and annoyed by a little kid that claims to be a donkey, but for some reason donkeys here require 1 pound, and I'm not sure why, but after lots of questioning, he admitted to being a jackass, so I'm sorry, I just can't pay off for that.
Do you want to be a flying donkey?
1, 2.
1, 2, 3, fly out the window of the donkey.
The hassle never ends because you can't walk down the street without having rude comments whispered into your ears, guys whistling at you like you're just some whore walking down the street. They would never do that to an Egyptian woman, and that's what irritates me the most. If they touched an Egyptian woman, they would be arrested, but they think that they can get away with it because I am a Western girl.
It's so frustrating, and as a father, it gets me really angry. Up in Luxor, for instance, there was a dark alley, and all of us were walking along. She was holding Grady's hand, and I was trailing behind, but it was dark, and I didn't see a guy come by and grab her butt. And she called out that guy just grabbed my ass.
How is it that some teenage retard can have the nerves to come grab my butt when there's 4 grown men around me? Do they think that I'm just going to do nothing about it? Do they think that I'm not going to tell my guys that guy just grabbed my butt? Obviously he's going to get the crap kicked out of it. No, I just can't stand it. I don't want to talk about it. Like, it's so...
Nasıl bir vakit? Kısa.